I didn't expect to be making another video so soon, but I believe I should be in retort to a situation. Oh, by the way, cup of coffee time. Slurp, slurp. So, on my last video, I had an unexpected surprise. One Mr. Kevin Shipp wrote on there, "Hey Kevin, looks like you are back. You conveniently deleted the fact that I publicly corrected the data I mistakenly gave for William Barr. No, I just didn't mention it. I mentioned the fact that you stated that William Barr was in the Bay of Pigs and that a numerous amount of people came out, and it was at that point when all these people came out, in fact, was it the Still report? Was one of the main ones who's really laid into you that the retraction came. It wasn't until it was pointed out that he was 11 years of age by numerous people, that's when you retracted your statement. But we'll go by the by, because that is what professionals do when they make a data error. Really. So you are going to say that you're a professional and you're going to admit to data errors. Okay. You publicly are in a world of shit, in my opinion, on this. Oh, and by the way, I was ill during the broadcast and barely able to make through the programme. So you're talking that when you were talking on the SES with Phil McConnell, who was coming out with the worst, and now it's all coming out. I mean, don't forget, Phil McConnell is working for President Trump, personally. He's done all these things, and he's now part of this thing called the Children's Crusade with the Pentagon paedophile busting gang with this Timothy Holsworth. You're involved with all of that, and you've clarified that this guy was genuine? Oh, and let's not forget that he was also paying Hawkins against his own sister. So let me give you, Mr. Shipp, a personal message. I don't care if I'm wearing blue tinted glasses or not. The blue tinted glasses, by the way, are for a medical thing to do with my dyslexia, which I got from the university. They are actually prescription glasses. But we're not going to go down there, because I couldn't care less whether I look good or whether I don't. It's not about who I am, it's about what I'm about, which is evidence and fact-based truth. Now, we have this character, Mr. Hawkins, who has been feeding Mr. McConnell, who you verified that these two clowns are bona fide. Well, let me explain to you about Christine Marcy. Her story is quite a sad one. You see, she has a very horrible brother called Phil McConnell, who has been trying for years to distress, destroy, humiliate, and even try to get her killed in order to get his hands on the public, on the family estate, not the public estate, the family estate that was left in her name, not his, because he was an embarrassment to his family, which is why he was probably written out of the will. Now let's go a bit further down. Let's start off with Miss Marcy. So in 1984, where was she in 1984? Right, that's right, in 1984. No. Let's go back to 1978, where there was an article written about her. That's right, the Washington Post article, where this Medenhall story came out. I went to the Urban Dictionary, said Mr. Hawkins, and there it was, saying that she was publicly raped and humiliated by Sir Nicholas Sums. No evidence. So when you research Medenhall, which is what I did, and I'll put it below for you, you can check for yourself, including actual description from Rashard Medenhall himself as to why he did what he did in 2011. But Mr. Goodman decides he's going to spin this, that Mr. Hawkins doesn't know what he didn't know about this. But if Mr. Hawkins had just literally researched Steelers and Medenhall, he would have had that answer. No, but see, what Mr. Hawkins does is he puts all his nonsense out there to justify his lunacy. He's a Walter Mitty. He's a liar. And like the other liar, Phil McConnell, which you, Mr. Shipp, backed up, are now coming under increasing legal jeopardy, especially Mr. McConnell. But that's beside the point. You accused me of being an operative and a spy with no evidence in order to justify and give credence and kudos to Mr. McConnell. So in other words, you are also partly responsible for all this nonsense on the internet of fake and false and misleading information. For instance, Mr. Hawkins states that she created the Joint Prisoner Alien Transportation System in 1984. Oh, is that so? See, the Joint Prisoner Alien Transportation System was created in 1995 under William Jefferson Clinton's administration with Janet Reno. Prior to that, it was the Prisoner Transportation System. That's right. And in 1984, where was Christine Marcy? Oh, that's right. She was in the Ministry of Interior, Inland Development. And from there she went to construction. And it wasn't until the 90s did she go into the US Marshals stroke all that area. And then she left in 2001 when she was in the Small Business Administration that Hawkins seems to think funded 9/11. Don't forget, Hawkins also tried to make out that it was the Canadian Air Force that fired missiles into the Twin Towers. Oh, and let's not forget, Hawkins also stated that she was the assistant deputy of of Office of Personal Management, which is how she got all the names to blackmail people with. Well, in fact, she had nothing to do with it. You know, she said she's one of these forms of the SES. Yes, she was one of 6,000 people that transferred from the super grade pay to the new pay grade, which was the senior executive service, which was a voluntary transfer over from one to the other, and she was one of 6,000 that transferred over to that. But I can prove all of this. Like I could prove all of who created the senior executive service. Like I could prove who was behind the Civil Service Reform Act. I've got the documented evidence and I've put it out there before. And I could prove all that without any hesitation, without any shadow of a doubt. Well, I want you to do, Mr. Shipp, but you haven't got the balls or the courage. Is to prove everything I've said is wrong. I want you to physically prove that A, Christine Marcy is this so-called person that you verified with Phil McConnell, even though, oh, I'm so sorry you were ill. Anybody with any right mind would see that this was a lie and would say, excuse me, I have to stop you there. I don't have the evidence or the facts here to back up what you're saying. Can you please send me those? No, what you did is you character assassinated somebody who is actually exposing these liars. Now these liars are now finally getting exposed and they're getting sunlight coming onto them. Your attack is that you weren't well. Well, I'm sorry, Kevin Shipp. Oh, and as for the blocking thing, no, I blocked you when you started getting nasty with me on the personal emails we were having one another. The ones I've still got copies of. Which shows quite clearly at that time I was still trying to save Jason Goodman from himself, to get him away from these people, because it was me that exposed that these people were liars and they were completely lying about the senior executive service. And it's through me that people are starting to see all of this, and it's through me that they've stopped talking about Christine Marcy creating the senior executive service. It's through me they've stopped talking about her being the deputy of the Office of Personnel Management. And I'll put any money you like, it'll be me that will stop them turning around and saying she was involved with DOJ Pride, which she wasn't. Because in words of Hawkins himself, he doesn't know her sexuality, yet he's quite prepared to keep accusing her of being a lesbian. With no evidence whatsoever. I am tired of the lies, I am tired of the false accusations, and I'm tired of people being smeared by these people that you associate with, that you have verified and you yourself, Mr. Shipp, have given credibility to. What can I say? I'm not the one that turned around and said you're a CIA operative smearing people. No, I'm saying you're a person that has backed on these people and has lied. And then to call me a troll and everything else, which is fine. You can call me what you want. You can call me Susie if you want. I couldn't care less. What I care about is facts and evidence. And as I told you, your name and reputation is on the line when you deal with these kind of people, where you've just shot yourself completely in the foot, Mr. Shipp. But I doubt if you'll watch this video, or if you do, you will not have the courage to stand up and say, you know what, I was wrong. These people are pushing out false information and I made a mistake. You haven't got the balls or the courage to do that. Which is why when this starts exposing more and more of these people down the line, your name's going to come up more and more as being part of this organisation. Oh, that goes along with Lee Stranahan and other people as well, and George Webb, and all the other fake and phonies that are all together in this disinformation congregation, with your good friend Mr Jason Goodman at the forefront, trying to cover up for people like Hawkins. Like, for instance, when we exposed Hawkins for not being a forensic economist, he didn't know what it was. He didn't realise there was anything such called a forensic economist. That was Jason Goodman's argument then. Like Jason Goodman's argument now on Medenhall is that Mr Hawkins didn't know about this incident of what happened in that. It was there in the Urban Dictionary, and which I'll link below, and you can go and check for yourself. Look up Steelers, look up Medenhall, and it will come up. I'll put all the evidence there for you for the Medenhall thing, just to show you quite clearly what we're dealing with here. But you will not have the courage or the conviction to stand up for the truth. All you're interested about is bums on seats, and to be fraudulent to the American public or to the public at large. There you go, Mr Shipp. I'm calling you a fraud, a phony, and a liar, and I don't care. Come and prove me wrong. Prove everything I said about Christine Marcy wrong. She is an innocent victim of a vile smear campaign by one David Hawkins for his buddy McConnell to get his hands on the family estate because he didn't get a penny of it. And Mr McConnell at the moment is in a hell of a lot of legal jeopardy. But don't forget, Mr McConnell is also the same guy that stated that on what was it, September the 30th or something around there, or August, I can't remember what date it was, that the actual Barack Hussein Obama, or Bathroom Barry, whatever you want to call him, was publicly military style shot for treason. And he said that on Vandersteel's show. There is evidence of him stating that he had been physically shot for treason. And then what did we see? The other day, he's alive and well. The same as when he said Mr. Tony Blair was in Guantanamo Bay, which he should be really, because he is a terrorist. And then a couple of days later, where is he? He's out and about. I'm sick and tired of these people making money off innocent victims, of people that are gullible. You said you wanted to be about truth and fight for justice, when all in fact reality is you're not. You're not. And I don't care what you think of me. I don't care what you say of me. What I'm putting out here is clear and unequivocal. And Mr. Ben Still was probably right what he said about you when he did what he did. In fact, I might actually put that below so people can watch and relearn that one. For now, toodle pips.